Welcome back to Project 82, the SCP Remote Access Database. Which case file do you require?
Item number SCP-126. Object Class Euclid. SCP-126 is kept within a standard Euclid class humanoid containment cell despite not having needs consistent with that of a normal human, or any kind of nourishment, as this environment is proven the most effective in keeping SCP-126 contained. In case of a containment breach, acoustic sensors embedded within SCP-126's containment cell, as well as the entire wing in which SCP-126's cell is housed, can be used to locate SCP-126. Firm but polite verbal requests for SCP-126 to return to its cell are to be given until it complies. Personnel interacting with SCP-126 must undergo regular psychiatric screening, and personnel exhibiting emotional attachment to SCP-126 must be administered a Class B amnestic and reassigned. SCP-126 is an invisible and intangible entity that can only be identified via sound. SCP-126 is sentient, with the ability to speak in multiple languages in a female voice and engage in conversation with any subject within range. To date, no method by which SCP-126 can be visually detected has been devised, as SCP-126 does not appear to emit any kind of light, radiation, heat, or electromagnetic energy. SCP-126 does appear to occupy an area, as evidenced by the ability to triangulate its suggested location via its voice. SCP-126 also emits sound when moving, consistent with footsteps made by a human subject wearing high heels with a mass of approximately 55 to 60 kilograms, though no depressions can be seen in any floor materials and pressure sensors do not register any kind of presence. SCP-126 cannot pass through barriers that would prevent a normal human subject from passing, such as a closed door, but solid objects can be pushed through the space it occupies without any effect. For unknown reasons, SCP-126 will comply with any request for it to follow a specific human subject or move to a specific location without question, though it may move away afterwards or if it is not able to physically comply with the request. SCP-126 will engage in conversation with any personnel within its containment cell, preferring topics such as art, nature, and philosophy. SCP-126 exhibits knowledge of current topics and intelligence consistent with that of a college graduate, as well as moderate attention deficit disorder. SCP-126 will regularly change language without reason and stray off topic while conversing without warning. Attempts to question SCP-126 about its origin or nature have been unsuccessful, as SCP-126 becomes confused when presented with such questions and will quickly stray away from the topic. Despite not appearing to use or need any furniture or appliances, SCP-126 will request such items as a bed, dresser, mirror, and other sundries if not present, and is more likely to stay in a room if such items are available. A small number of personnel exhibit anomalous behavior after engaging in conversation with SCP-126, including but not limited to believing that they have known SCP-126 for many years, and that SCP-126 is a close friend or loved one. If not treated, these subjects will begin to ignore basic needs in order to continue conversing with SCP-126, eventually dying from dehydration or starvation. SCP-126 was discovered in a suburban home in after several reports of the house being haunted. A Foundation containment team was able to quickly locate SCP-126 and, after conversing for several minutes, convinced SCP-126 to enter a mobile containment unit, which was used to transfer it to a local Foundation containment site. Addendum 126-01 Researcher Note. To date, conversations with SCP-126 have yielded several notable personality traits. SCP-126 is mildly arachnophobic and will move away from any specimens introduced to its containment cell. SCP-126 exhibits a desire to assist with any task which it believes it can be of help, despite being unable to manipulate objects. SCP-126 prefers to converse with male subjects that exhibit humor and intelligence. SCP-126 expresses a desire to have children and has conversed with staff on several occasions regarding childcare methodology. SCP-126 has the ability to fluently speak English, French, German, Portuguese, Spanish, and at least 3 other unknown languages. Dr. Senior Researcher.
Case file ends. Which case file do you require?
Item number SCP-133. Object Class Safe. All instances of SCP-133 are stored within their original shipment crates, which are to be stored within a standard safe class storage container at Site-19. Experimentation with SCP-133 may only be performed with prior written permission from at least 2 Level 4 personnel. SCP-133 are a set of 613 black, circular pieces of a waxy, paper-like material 5 cm in diameter. When placed against a solid surface and rubbed, SCP-133 will instantaneously transfer to the surface and create a circular hole. Testing has shown that SCP-133 is capable of penetrating up to 61 cm of structural grade steel, though the exact degree of penetration is reduced by extremely smooth or highly dense materials. Examination of holes created by SCP-133 show they are superficially smooth, but exhibit tool marks consistent with that of extremely fine boring implements at a microscopic level. The exact mechanism by which SCP-133 operates is still under investigation. SCP-133 came to the Foundation's attention following a string of high-profile burglaries in the city of. Suppressed surveillance footage and forensic evidence were brought to the attention of embedded Foundation agents in local law enforcement agencies, and upon attempting to apprehend the culprit, subject placed an instance of SCP-133 over his chest and local law enforcement officers and were administered Class A amnestics and released. The original shipping crate in which SCP-133 was found has been shown to be immune to SCP-133's effect despite being composed of ordinary wood, and has been incorporated into the containment procedures for SCP-133. Addendum 133-01 Shipping label found with SCP-133. Instant holes, a product of the factory, 800 units.
Case file ends. Which case file do you require?
Item number SCP-142. Object Class Safe. SCP-142 is to be kept locked in an accessible room with the following: 1 table with surface area no smaller than 75 cm by 75 cm. 1 stool of adjustable height. 1 wall clock, electric, to be kept visible and running at all times when SCP-142 is in use. Access to SCP-142 is permitted only with express written consent of Dr. or other Level 4 personnel. Staff assigned to SCP-142 must not have any personal or family history of compulsive gambling nor gambling addiction. Staff assigned to SCP-142 are not to make any physical contact with the device under any circumstances. SCP-142 closely resembles a 1940s Black Beauty slot machine as produced by the Mill Corporation during that era. The only observed irregularity in the external construction of SCP-142 is found in the coin slot of the device, which has been modified to accept any item that will fit in a cylindrical space 5 cm in length and 2.45 cm in diameter. When any object of appropriate size, hereafter referred to as the bet, is dropped into the input chute of SCP-142, the device may be operated as is customary for a slot machine of this model. Should the tumblers come to rest in a losing configuration, the bet is lost and cannot be recovered. However, in the event that the tumblers come to rest in a winning configuration, between 2 and 200 indistinguishably identical copies of the bet are dispensed from the output chute of the machine. In the event that the bet consists of multiple objects, the output of the device, if any, consists of a random assortment of duplicates of the wagered items. Test data reveals the median payout from winning configurations to be 10 items, regardless of the number of items inserted. Human subjects allowed to interact with SCP-142 are affected by the object in 3 unique stages. Stage 1 begins immediately upon direct or indirect physical contact with the lever of the device. Subjects demonstrate mild giddiness and demonstrate a greatly diminished sense of the passage of time. If the subject has not exhausted the supply of betting material after 28 to 34 minutes of play, he or she will gradually enter the next stage. Subjects at Stage 2 appear compelled to bet larger and larger quantities of provided betting items, 5 to 20% of remaining material, until supplies are exhausted. Subjects also express the delusion they are winning more frequently as a result of their altered betting strategy. In spite of this belief, the frequency of payout seems to be somewhat reduced at this stage. Stage 3 begins once all of the subject's betting material is lost, typically 10 to 12 minutes following the onset of Stage 2 if no additional betting material is provided to the subject by a third party. Subjects at this stage express a strong aversion to SCP-142 and will not continue to operate the device unless compelled with physical force. Subjects also express a moderate aversion to any action which would cause an object to pass through a hole, and express a strong irrational fear that they will waste or lose something should they engage in the offending activities. Specific examples vary by subject, but include passing through doorways, placing objects into cabinets, bags, or any other storage medium, use of sinks, showers, or other plumbing fixtures with drains, removing and or putting on clothing, sexual intercourse, and, most commonly, eating. Roughly 62% of subjects that reach Stage 3 will expire due to starvation or malnutrition unless actively compelled to eat or provided nutrients through other means. Any subject restrained or otherwise removed from interaction with SCP-142 during Stage 1 will recover in full within 1 hour. However, Stage 2 subjects separated from the device will enter Stage 3, and the effects of Stage 3 have proven permanent in all cases. Subjects in Stage 3 should be terminated at the conclusion of each experiment. SCP-142 was recovered from an abandoned antique dealership in Ohio, following a tip from. Records from that area indicate the shop owner died of starvation roughly 5 years prior to retrieval of the device. Addendum 142-1 In the course of an approved experiment, SCP-142 was temporarily disassembled and each piece catalogued. The construction of SCP-142 proved unsurprising for a slot machine of this make and model, with 2 exceptions. Component 142-0046, the lever device, was found to contain several unexpected alloys, including contact with the lever has no effect when it is not connected to the rest of the apparatus. Additionally, as mentioned previously, the coin slot of the device is extensively modified to accept objects larger than coins. The most notable element of the custom chute is Component 142-0524, a small chamber composed of thin pewter plates. 142-0524 appears to serve as both the holding mechanism for betting material and the dispenser for payouts. The means of interaction between this component and the rest of SCP-142 is unclear. However, due to the highly fragile construction of Component 142-0524 and its presumed relationship to the device's duplication properties, Further examination is prohibited without O5 consent. Addendum 142-2. With the permission of O5- personnel may now submit appropriate materials to be used with SCP-142 for potential multiplication. Requests should be submitted in writing to Dr.
Thank you for your participation in Project 82. Transmitting Psioanalytic data to Dr.